Welcome to my match overview of Forest 3-0 win at the City Ground on 14th December 2025. We slumped to another defeat away in a match where even the away fans booed our boys off the field, signalling a new low for the season as we drop back into the lower half of the table. As fans reflect on us being 1 point behind our points tally from last season's disastrous 17th place finish, fans are starting to increasingly call Frank's appointment into question as we head into the packed Christmas schedule, hoping to get to the winter break unscathed and anticipating the opening of the transfer window to reinforce our battered squad. First, let's look at some stats to quantify the theme of attacking threat or lack thereof that continues to plague us going into games, given our difficulties getting shots on target, penetrating the opponent's box, and providing service to our increasingly isolated strike force. We have 5 key passes and chances created in this game, with only 1 shot on target from Archie Grey. The thicker lines here mean more passes between the connected nodes. You can see that the pass map shows the most common pass networks were between Porro, Kudus and Xavi. Notice that there are so few passes to Richarlison that he doesn't even register any lines. We finished the game with 16 touches in the box and 1 shot on target. We are rock bottom in the league for through balls with 7 for the season. That's not for a game, that's for the entire season. Meanwhile, we do top the league for something, miscontrols. And the prime candidates for that are Kudus, Xavi Simons and Richarlison. It's worth looking at where we are compared to last season. I can use my eyes to see we're not attacking well, and I can confirm it with the fact that we are in the bottom 4 for XG, penalties, shots on target, touches in the penalty box, and offsides. For XG, we've dropped from 7 places to 10th from 10th in the league to 17th. For penalties, 10 places to 18th. For shots, 6 places to 17th. For shots on target, 9 places to 17th. For touches in the box, 7 places to 15th. And for offsides, 7 places to 17th. Now, what does this all mean? You can explain the drop in penalties and shots on touches in the box together. If you're not getting into the box, you're not getting in a position to win penalties. If we don't believe in long shots, and Frank has said that he thinks they're low percentage chances, not getting into the box means that you're not shooting either, which explains our precipitous drop into the bottom 4 for shots and shots on target. If you look at our passing statistics, it makes for even grimmer reading. Our key passes dropped 8 places to 19th, second last in the league. Long passes improvement makes sense due to Ange's monomaniacal focus on short passing to build up. For through balls is the most damning statistic here with 3, although the other stat sheet earlier showed us as last with 7. We're third in corners, which makes sense given our over-reliance on set pieces. Now moving to individual performances, Kudus ain't on fire. He was our key creative outlet for the start of the season, but our over-reliance on him has made him take on more and more responsibility, to the point that he's making some inexplicable decisions which are somewhat questionable. Over here you can see that he has acres of space to run into. Richarlison's pass is not on because he's coming back from an offside position, but he also has a simple pass to Simons if he chooses that. Inexplicably, he decides to cut outside and give himself a mountain to climb with 3 defenders to beat. It seems that he's starting to go on his Lucas Moura arc. Now, in this scenario, he has 3 teammates in the box, and he decides instead to cut inside and try to dribble past 6 people. A lot of the time Kudus is playing alone on the wing and has to do everything on his own, but in this game he has Bentancur and Xavi making runs into space, but he decides to pass it back to Porro. In the second half, as we're chasing the goal, Xavi misses that Grey, hungry to make amends for his mistake, is open and passes to Kudus on the left instead. Kudus tries to shoot through 3 defenders instead of returning a pass to Xavi, who is now open. The villain of the night, however, was Vicario, who's been having a shocker since his brain fart against Fulham. Vicario has been pulling off big saves in games and keeping us in contention, but the strain is starting to show and his gaffes here cost us at least 2 of the 3 goals. Now in Vicario's defense for the first goal, Grey does ask for the ball, but Van de Ven is right there for a simple pass. Vicario bobbles it over to Grey onto his weaker foot, resulting in Grey having to take an additional touch, which Sangare pounces upon for the goal. Now for the second goal, there is no real need for him to be this far forward or to be that far off his line, resulting in him being beaten from an inexplicably tight angle. To be fair to Vicario, there's very little he can do about a screamer into the post, but Paulinho should be closing him down there. And as I previously said, Frank's contention is that long shots are low percentage chances, but having conceded 2 long shots here, 1 against Brighton, 2 against Fulham and Villa, and 3 against PSG, not caring about long shots is starting to look as much of a blind spot for Frank as set pieces were for Ange. There are also other defensive frailties that have contributed to Vicario's downgrade in performances. So over here we have 7 defenders, so we have the numbers, but we have 3 attackers that get 3 shots in a row off the penalty spot. First we have Sangare hitting against the post. The rebound falls to Igor Jesus, whose shot is blocked by Bentancur. We somehow allow Nico Williams to go past Kudus and get a third shot off that Vicario saves. Now in another scenario, Romero is chasing someone with the ball down the left wing, so Spence goes into the centre to cover for him. As Forest recycle the ball back, Spence and Romero do not swap their positions, so now we have Spence in a centre-back's position attempting to defend a deep cross, and if it wasn't for Richarlison, we could have conceded the header over there. That unfortunately was the best contribution for Richarlison on the night, as he had a night to forget on the side of the field that he gets paid to work in. He's coming back from an offside position here, and most of the team is trying to break down on the left, but if he comes into position with this large part of the field that's left completely empty, he could pull defenders over and make space for his teammates on the left side. And this explains why our build-up down the centre breaks down as often as it does. Xavi's building up with the ball, and he side-foots it to Richarlison, but Richarlison's first touch is so bad that it jumps 20 metres from him into the grateful clutches of the centre-back. You can see Xavi's expression in the bottom right-hand corner there. Now, when Muani drives to the centre, he shows that what he can actually do. He can beat his man and runs 30 yards to the edge of the penalty box before his shot is charged down. When we put Muani out on the left, this ability is wasted, as he would only have an angle to cross or cut back and have 2 centre-backs on him if he beats his man there. So all in all, I think that overall this game has kind of shown the issues that I've had with our attacking play. And that's why even when we had good results against Prague and Brentford, I wasn't particularly confident because I wasn't seeing patterns of play that showed that we know what to do in possession. And when we're up against a team that has a midfield as robust as it does here, that closes us down, our midfield was a bit too lightweight and resulted in us not being able to impose a style of play, get time on the ball to make something happen. So structurally, I think that part of the issue is that we still favour playing 2 defensive midfielders instead of 2 creative midfielders. So what happens is that we tend to have a structure where we never play Bergvall and Xavi at the same time, for example. We always change them for each other, and then we either have Bentancur or Paulinho. And I feel that you end up having to break down the centre a lot, but breaking down the centre with not enough creative players to interplay with each other and give themselves a little more chance of finding pockets of space to play. Now, the other issue I have is, right now, what is a Frank ball goal? Do we know what it is other than a set piece or a long throw? Because with Conte we had fullback to fullback building up from the back. With Mourinho we had Son and Kane running into space with fast counters. With Poch, we had wing backs and fast vertical ball progression. With Ange, it was like short build-up play, inverted wing backs, and cutting back from the touchline. What is Frank's attacking idea? I still have not seen something consistently show that we have a set play that we're going to use in possession. It feels like defense is the main focus, and I don't see how we are building up in possession to create chances for ourselves. And that's why we have the lowest through balls in the league, and one of the lowest touches in penalty box and shots on target. So other than set pieces and long throws, I don't see how that's a sustainable way to create enough chances to compete in the league.